and you know that you've done it correctly. Make your way to the excavation site in Origins, and this is what you hear in the third radio.
Yes, yo, I'm on the Riese. I'm on the Riese. Everybody look at me, cause I'm pissing on a zombie. I'm on the Riese. I'm on the Riese. Take a good hard look at the motherfucking map.
Hey, what's up soldiers? My name's GregFPS, the Zombies Extraordinaire. Everyone thinks my zombies opinions are wrong, so I decided to take a step back and review each zombies map based off 20 categories. Each category is worth 5 points for a cumulative total of 100. This is a totally serious review, memes included. If you would like to watch my previous reviews on Nacht, Verrückt, and Shinonuma, they will be linked down below in the description. This is episode 4, Riese, the map that changed everything. Back on September 18, 2009, the third and final World at War map pack was released. It was called Map Pack 3. There were 3 multiplayer maps released, which were Battery, Breach, and Revolution, as well as Riese. A ton of things were innovated upon drastically from the previous 3 maps in World at War Zombies. The largest innovation is Pack-a-Punch. This allowed players to increase their firepower. Guns were stronger, dealt more damage, and had a lot more ammo, allowing for higher rounds and a lot more fun. There are 3 teleporters as well situated around the map that needed to be linked to the mainframe in the spawn room. You had 30 seconds to link each of them, and then when they were all linked, Pack-a-Punch was available. This changed how players played the game because they needed to make the choice between buying perks or upgrading their gun for 5,000 points. Do you save up as much as you can or buy the perks you want but have less powerful weapons? The Bowie knife was also a new addition to the map by Teleporter C off the wall. It cost 3,000 points and was a one-hit knife all the way up until the end of round 9. This was a good investment because you could earn the money back fairly fast and earn even more money if you continued to melee. Each perk also had a small point bonus that you could receive if you went prone in front of each perk. It was only 25 points however, unlike 100 since Black Ops 3. The map introduced a small quest that was a game of hide and seek, which I will talk about more in the side Easter egg section of this video. Monkey bombs were also introduced as a special equipment which attracts zombies and then blows up. Overall, the innovation I give to Riese a 5 out of 5. Riese, or the Giant, is very unique when it comes to zombies maps. Like Shinonuma, it definitely does not fit the scary narrative and creepy vibes of Verrückt, but it is still eerie. The sound of zombies breaking down the barriers, the sound of metal clanking can be heard, and it also has a really creepy vibe when you start the Flytrap Easter egg and Samantha talks. I think we can all agree her voice is freaky in itself. The bright shining moon in the sky looks really cool. Also, when you go through the different areas of the map, there's blood everywhere. The blood splattered all over the wall and the ground in the animal testing area, along with the scientific chalkboards, huge cylinders with spines inside to activate the Easter egg song, and also a body sitting inside one of the huge vats next to Teleporter B. Even in the Black Ops 3 version, when it is snowing, it is almost so quiet that it's even more scary in a sense. The special rounds with Hellhounds add an extra level to the map as well because they are such a pain to kill in World at War and Black Ops 1. For overall atmosphere, I give the map a 5 out of 5. Instead of basing it off of my personal opinion, I did a poll on Twitter, and out of the 1,110 votes in a day, the community decided 5 out of 5 was a proper grade for the nostalgia of Riese, which I kind of expected if I'm honest. It seems like a hit or miss for most people. With Riese being the most popular map in World at War, it wasn't a huge surprise to see it that high. I'd imagine Kino der Toten next week is also going to be very high as well. In World at War, Riese was considered to be a fairly easy map. With huge areas to train and arguably the best camping spot in all of zombies, it suited everyone's playstyle. The dogs, like already mentioned, were still very difficult to deal with. When recording this video, I noticed that one shot from the Mustang and Sally sometimes didn't even kill one of the dogs on the dog round. They are so much weaker in Black Ops 3. When the Resurrection map pack was released, they also added in Mule Kick, so you could use 3 guns instead of 2, but you lose the ability to have one of the perks on the map. Quick Revive also changed in Black Ops 1, so if you bought it, you had 3 lives if you bought it each time after going down. Black Ops 3 came along, and as a pre-order bonus or for purchase at a later date, Riese was brought to Black Ops 3 called the Giant. It included Gobblegums, but Riese already had a Pack-a-Punch, so it didn't really change it too much like the other World at War maps where they didn't have Pack-a-Punch. Black Ops 3 definitely reduced the difficulty of the map overall. I give the difficulty of Riese a 3 out of 5. The Wonder Weapons on Riese were all from previous maps, so you have the Ray Gun and the Wunderwaffe DG2 as well. The great thing about Riese was that the monkey bombs were also added in, which was a great tool to use to revive down players. You could also Pack-a-Punch the Ray Gun and the Wunderwaffe, which allowed for more damage as well as more ammo, which is a great addition. In Black Ops 1, the Wunderwaffe was brought back along with the same wall weapons, and the box was filled with Black Ops guns. In Black Ops 3, the Wunderwaffe was also brought back with a bunch of other Black Ops 3 weapons. For Wonder Weapons and weapon selection in general, I give this map a 4 out of 5 because of the addition of monkey bombs and Pack-a-Punch, making the Wonder Weapons even stronger. Obviously, there's no main Easter egg on this map, so I'm going to exclude it from the rating completely. So instead of a main Easter egg, I decided the Flytrap Easter egg is the side Easter egg. This was the first time where there was something unique, which was a very small quest. What you do is shoot a panel outside the map with a Pack-a-Punch weapon. In World at War and Black Ops 1, Samantha says, "Let's play hide and seek," but in Black Ops 3, Maxis is the announcer. You need to find 3 different toys in each of the versions. In Black Ops 3, they were in different spots, but you actually got rewarded for it by getting the Annihilator Specialist weapon, which was a nice touch. Another cool Easter egg that was added in just for Black Ops 3 was on the left hand side of the map facing away from Pack-a-Punch, there was a large mound of snow. You need to teleport from each of the different teleporters and throw a monkey inside before you teleport. Then you press a light, and once all 3 are lit up, the head from one of the huge Origins robots hanging outside the map will shine a light onto the snow pile and melt it. It's really kind of a laser. You either get Deadshot Daiquiri or Stamina, which I think was a nice touch to the map overall. Since the Flytrap Easter egg was the first, and those side Easter eggs are pretty cool and fun to do, I give side Easter eggs a 4 out of 5. The music Easter egg on Riese is for the song Beauty of Annihilation. This is by far one of the best Easter egg songs we have ever seen in zombies. To activate this song, there are 3 spinal cords that you need to interact with. 2 of them are at the bottom of the stairs in the animal testing area, on a table and on a shelf. The last and final one is in the small room on the right hand side of the Teleporter B area. The interesting thing about this was in Black Ops 3's version, they also had a remix of Beauty of Annihilation, but it sadly was not nearly as good as the original. It was activated the exact same way as the original though. I give the music Easter egg on this map a 4 out of 5. Riese definitely has more of a story than meets the eye. In all honesty, it set up the entire story leading up until Origins. Riese was a Group 935 facility where they did tests on human experiments. Dr. Maxis and Richthofen did teleportation experiments with human test subjects as well. Fluffy was Samantha's dog, which was then used as a teleportation experiment and did not return. Then Richthofen, who was sick of Dr. Maxis ordering him around, teleported Samantha, Maxis, and evil Fluffy, who had reappeared in the teleporter. After this teleportation, everything changed. Samantha was teleported to Griffin Station on the moon and went inside the MPD after touching it. This allowed Samantha to take control of the zombies and Hellhounds. Maxis persuaded Samantha to kill them all, meaning the Ultimus crew, and then he killed himself, merging with the technology at Griffin Station after leaving the crazy place. At Riese, there were so many more scientists as well doing studies, and they mass-produced the Wunderwaffe DG2. This was a very brief summary of the story, but here are some of the more info directly from the timeline. October 13th, 1945. Though frustrated that the matter transference tests have been largely unsuccessful, Maxis acknowledges that the test subject's departure from their original point of origin is undeniable. However, Richthofen's suggestion that the subjects have been transported not through space but from time itself causes Maxis to worry if his irrationality may soon prove a liability to our endeavors. Maxis and Richthofen performed teleportation test trials on test subjects number 3, 4, and 5. All fail, including test 5, where Maxis uses Fluffy. Samantha sees Fluffy and runs into the teleporter. Maxis chases after her. Richthofen seals them both in the test chamber and teleports all 3 of them. October 13, 1945, Samantha is teleported to the moon while Graf and Schuster work on the MPD. Running into the MPD, she is drawn inside of it where she becomes corrupted by the dark aether. Maxis is teleported to the crazy place and develops the power to merge with electricity. Richthofen returns to the moon. Learning Samantha is trapped in the MPD, he orders Graf to teleport Maxis there to coax her out of the device. He also warns Graf to keep an eye out for an evil-looking dog. Richthofen returns to the moon. October 14, 1945. H. Porter activates the alarm as an outbreak occurs at Riese. Before taking a cyanide capsule, he says he's all out of hope. God forgive us all. October 28, 1945. Ultimus returns to Riese. With his diary, Richthofen plans to use the teleporter to return to the moon and confront Samantha. Unfortunately, the Wunderwaffe DG2 overloads the teleporter and sends them through time, causing Richthofen to drop his diary. The storyline on Riese, like I mentioned, set up the entire zombie storyline for the most part, so for that it is a perfect 5 out of 5. Zombies is a replayable game to the eyes of the beholder. Riese being a classic map that people still play to this day, it is no surprise I spent over 10 hours recording and getting gameplay on World at War and Black Ops 1 while playing Riese, and I surprisingly never even got bored at all over the countless hours of playing in general. Then when I went on the Giant in Black Ops 3, I was bored immediately. I think the map is a lot more replayable and fun when the map becomes somewhat of a challenge like on the older games. You don't have gobblegums, the guns are not nearly as strong, and you actually need to be fairly good at the game to survive for longer rounds. The map has a ton of replayability, and when Black Ops 3 was out, I religiously played the map to level up so I could be Master Prestige before the release of Horizon Drac for DLC 1. For that, I give Riese replayability a 4 out of 5. It is one of those maps that you can just jump in, play, and have fun, becoming more of a survival map of just killing zombies over and over more than anything else. Riese is a fairly large map. I would say it is about the same size as Shinonuma. Riese has 3 teleporters around the map which allow you to go back to spawn to pack-a-punch at any point. The map has very large areas which we will get into when we get to the training section of the map, and for that I really enjoy those aspects. The map is nice because it has huge open areas. You don't need to worry about water or swampy areas slowing you down like on Shinonuma. It is simply just cement. The map is definitely a good size and not the biggest map, so for that I give it a 3.5 out of 5. Like most maps, there are 2 different ways out of the spawn room. You can go towards the animal testing side and buy the debris blocking the stairway and then drop down to turn on power. The main way that people go, however, is through the furnace room where the Thompson wall buy is, and you can also drop down and turn on power that way. The power switch on Black Ops 1 and World at War still has what is thought to be Peter McCain's hand on it, but there is not one in the Black Ops 3 version. The gameplay in World at War and Black Ops 1 is set up nicely because the box always spawns right next to the power switch, just in time to grab a gun and be ready for the Hellhounds to spawn in shortly. In Black Ops 3, they ruined the flow of the map by having the box spawn at a completely different area every game, randomizing where you are going to open up. Are you going to open up to the box or open up to power and take the chance of only having a weak wall weapon? Then again, the dogs were a joke in Black Ops 3. You could kill them with anything. To me, they should have kept the box at the same location. No point ruining something that wasn't broken to begin with. Sorry guys, I feel like my bias is playing a large role in the review, lol. Anyway, the flow overall is good, so for that I'm going to give the map a 4 out of 5. As far as originality goes, having Riese be a Group 935 facility where testing was undertaken is a pretty cool setting, near Breslau, Germany, which is actually a pretty cool area, especially during the height of World War II. Treyarch is always able to pull off new and unique locations, at least in the early days, to really switch it up where you are playing on the map. The facility with the teleporters was a cool scientific type map, which a lot of players fell in love with right away when the map was released. Having Pack-a-Punch be original from Riese as opposed to the previous World at War maps, it really set zombies in motion to what we see to this day. For that, I give the originality of Riese a 4 out of 5. Every zombies map has some very impressive records. For Riese, the main records that people go for on this map is high rounds and round 30 and 50 speedrun. To be honest, I can't wait to get to more popular or newer maps so I can cover Easter egg speedruns. Anyway, the record for Riese high rounds on World at War is round 142 by Private Asskick. In Black Ops 1, the record is a joint record between Spirit, Oxygen, and Fleur with round 232. In Black Ops 3, the record is maxed out at round 255 by 7 different people. The round 30 speedrun in Black Ops 1 is 30 minutes and 42 seconds by Matt, and round 50 in Black Ops 1 is an hour and 2 minutes 44 seconds by Ludador. In Black Ops 3, the round 30 speedrun is by Sadful with 30 minutes and 7 seconds, and the round 50 speedrun is by Exocube with 58 minutes and 42 seconds. For those records, especially the amount of 255s on the Giant, I give records a 4 out of 5. Riese is a very old and important map, so for that it has been remade a few different times. It was brought back to Black Ops 1 along with the other World at War maps and Moon in the Resurrection map pack. It was also brought into Black Ops 3 as the pre-order bonus, and you could also buy it later on in the store. Overall, the Black Ops 3 version looks absolutely astounding with all the snow and snow falling. It looks really nice with the moon in the background. The World at War and Black Ops 1 versions, however, gave off a creepy vibe and each served a different purpose. I give the remakes a 5 out of 5 because the Black Ops 1 version kept the same wall weapons as World at War, which was a nice touch to see, and Black Ops 3 didn't really change it too drastically. There are a few camping spots that people use on Riese. I'm going to get probably the most iconic camping spot of all time out of the way first. This is the catwalk camping strategy. This is the teleporter C area up the stairs. All the zombies funnel in from below and go up the stairs straight towards everyone sitting there. It is a very good spot if you're playing co-op, but not really that great if you're playing solo. If everyone stays up there with strong packed guns, you should be able to go for high rounds. Another great spot is in front of the teleporter's C door and keeping the door closed until you want to open up Pack-a-Punch, and all the zombies will spawn directly in front of you. These seem to be the most used spots, but some people like to camp in other areas, like the one window strategy and the animal testing area and a few others. Just for the catwalk, I give this map a 4.5 out of 5 for camping spots. There are a few different training spots that have been used when it comes to Riese. All of these different options can be exciting and fun to use. The two main ones are in the spawn room area and the other is in front of the power area. These two spots have plenty of room to maneuver and cut back so you don't get trapped. Another spot that people use frequently is in the Thompson room. You can train up zombies very nicely and use the trap in the doorway as well. The last and final spot that people have used is to train right in front of teleporter C. It is basically the same thing as the power strat, only you are confined to that room specifically. There is also a trap strategy that is used, which I will briefly mention, in which people alternate between all three electric traps, running through the animal testing trap, down the power trap, and then through the Thompson room strat. It works pretty well for high rounds, but usually it is only used when you are low on Wonderwolf ammo. The training spots on this map are great, so I give them a 4.5 out of 5. Exclusivity is for things that are only available on those maps. Since the map doesn't share or have anything specifically unique to the map, like weapons or perks or anything like that, I don't think it is worth including in the review. It just wouldn't be fair. Co-op uses the same camping methods that was already mentioned to get higher rounds in casual public match gameplay. Each player in a 4-player game can go to a different area of the map and hold it down. Co-op is much more fun camping on the catwalk because it is by far the best camping spot for co-op in Zombies history. For that, I give co-op a 3.5 out of 5. Solo can be fun depending on the playstyle you are using. The training spots can all be fun to use solo. Once you get set up, you can mindlessly go for hours and hours as long as you don't mess up, which I really like. Overall, I would say solos are a 3 out of 5. Let's tally up the totals and see where Riese ends up. It is one of the best zombies maps, so out of the possible 90 points, we excluded 2 different sections, which were the main Easter eggs and the exclusivity. Riese got a total of 75 points. 75 divided by 90 equals 0.833, which rounded is 83%. 83 is a B- grade, and I think it is the perfect grade for Riese. Being such an early stage map, but having so much amazing features that we still use today, made it very special. I really hope you enjoyed this review. Riese, the map that changed everything. Next week, I'll be covering Kino der Toten. Peace out, guys.